Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into something that's honestly a huge leap for AI video. Sora 2's new ability to create characters that are actually consistent and reusable. And let me tell you, this isn't just some minor update. It's a fundamental shift in how we can tell stories with AI.
Okay, so let's start right there. OpenAI is not messing around with this announcement. When they call something the GPT 3.5 moment for video, they're sending a very clear signal. They're saying this is the point where AI video stops being a kind of cool, quirky novelty and becomes a genuinely powerful tool that almost anyone can use.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to start by unpacking what that GPT 3.5 moment really means. Then we'll get right into the main event, the persistent character revolution. After that, we'll peek under the hood at the API, see how Sora 2 stacks up against the competition, and wrap up with what all this means for creators like you and me.
So, to earn a title like that, what was the single biggest problem that Sora 2 absolutely had to solve? Well, it all comes down to one word: consistency.
Before Sora 2, pretty much all AI video models had this huge problem called identity drift. You generate a character you loved, but in the very next shot, poof, their face would be slightly different, maybe their shirt changed color, or they just look like their weird long-lost cousin. The big goal for Sora 2 was to finally nail persistent identity, to make an AI character feel less like a random face and more like a real actor you could cast again and again.
So how in the world did they pull it off? Well, the answer is a brand new feature they're simply calling characters. And honestly, this is where AI video generation gets truly transformative.
This character system, which they launched back on October 29, 2025, is a total game changer. See, it goes way beyond just looking at a reference photo. Instead, it analyzes a short video clip to build a complete visual and audio profile of a person. The result? A unique digital actor you can reuse anytime with an absolutely stunning level of consistency.
And the best part is, the process for actually doing this is incredibly simple. You just record a super short video, like 1 to 4 seconds, of someone's face and voice. The system does all the heavy lifting, analyzing everything, and then it spits out a unique character ID. From then on, you can just pop that character's @handle into any prompt you write. It literally turns a person's likeness into a reusable digital asset.
And this chart, wow, this really tells the whole story. The old way of doing things, using a reference image, might get you about 75% consistency if you were lucky, but the new characters system, it jacks that number up to a reliable 95% or even higher. For anyone trying to create something, that's the difference between a total gamble and a tool you can actually depend on. Now, of course, with this kind of power, you need control. And the good news is, OpenAI built in some really granular permissions, so you can decide exactly who gets to use your digital likeness. You can even lock it down with a strict mode to stop people from making changes, and you always have the power to pull the plug and revoke access entirely.
But here's where it gets really powerful. This tech isn't just stuck inside some OpenAI app. The real magic comes from the API, which lets developers weave this capability into their own tools and software. They're treating it like a platform, not just a product.
And right out of the gate, the ecosystem is making this technology way more accessible. We're already seeing third-party services like KIE pop up, offering access to the Sora 2 API for over 60% cheaper than OpenAI's standard price. And that kind of competition is what really lights a fire under adoption.
The way the KIE API works is actually pretty smart. They split the job into 2 simple steps. First, you use their Sora 2 character model, that's the singular one, to give it your video and get back that super important character ID. Then, you use the Sora 2 characters model, plural, to actually generate the video, feeding it the ID you just made. Pretty slick.
And look, this isn't just theory. We're already seeing it out in the wild. A platform called YourRender.ai has built a whole system on top of this API. They've made a full service where their users can save, manage, and even edit their AI characters, adding cool stuff like advanced camera moves. It just goes to show how fast developers are turning this into real, usable tools.
Okay, so we know Sora 2 has this amazing new feature, but it's definitely not operating in a vacuum. So how does it really stack up against the competition here in early 2026?
When you lay it all out like this, Sora 2's advantages really pop. I mean, sure, competitors like Runway and VO get excellent consistency from still images, which is impressive, but Sora's video-based characters, that 95+% accuracy, the native audio sync, and that much longer 25-second runtime, it just puts it in a totally different league for telling a continuous, believable story.
And OpenAI isn't just shipping this as an API for developers. They're also pushing it directly to people with a dedicated iOS app called Sora. And what's really interesting is the philosophy behind it. The app is designed for creation and remixing with friends, not just for sitting back and consuming content. It's built around the characters feature, which really signals that they're betting on co-creative experiences.
Okay, let's bring it all back down to earth for a minute and talk about the practical stuff, the things that will really decide who gets to use this tech, what does it cost, and what are its current limitations.
Well, as of January 2026, the free ride is over. You'll now need a paid ChatGPT Plus or Pro subscription to get access. And for developers, that huge price difference we talked about is a really big deal. KIE's API pricing makes generating tons of video way more affordable than OpenAI's standard rate. But, and this is a really big but, we have to be honest here, this tech is still very new, and it is far from perfect. There are known issues. You'll still see that weird visual shimmer in some videos. In really complex scenes, you might see anatomical glitches like an extra arm. The physics can get wonky, and that 95% consistency can start to fail at extreme camera angles. Plus, developers are still reporting some bugs with the API.
So, let's tie this all together. Even with its flaws, Sora 2's ability to create and reuse consistent characters is a massive shift. It takes AI video from being a tool for making cool, isolated clips to being a platform for telling actual, sustained stories. And that leaves us with one heck of a question. Are we standing at the very beginning of a completely new era for how we create things together?